Oh, I didn't realise that's where I last left it. Hang on. I haven't opened this on my new computer, so none of the files are synced. That's gone forever. I don't know where that's saved. Whatever, it's not going to be too much of a hassle. So here's the PAC-LAND video. Let's do a live breakdown. Never mind, it's too laggy. That shouldn't be there. There's the stage select thing. I think that's not rendering, it's the stage select title screen. Or is it? Yeah, so it's got the thing and then the final image of it's missing. Flame transition, you know, the one that I always use. And then, hang on, let me turn the master volume down a wee bit. So, there's actually an editing mistake here. I kind of wanted to parody the Smash 64 opening, but I wasn't sure how, so I just sort of had these all appear in. This is kind of different, because these all appear in like one way, where this is from the middle, but because it's from the middle, but it uses the same keyframes, it's basically broken, because it goes twice as quick as these appear, which is a shame. If I can get onto that, actually. Here we go. So, the way this works is that it's just an animated mask of the scene, and then it expands. Pretty decent, pretty simple. Apparently I lost the voiceover to this. I don't know how that happened. These... They're on the computer. I'll just have to find and relink them. But these were not images from Smash 64 Stage Select, like this one in particular. I can probably get to this one if it's saved. Which one is it? Yeah, so this is actually an animated mask of the stage moving, like on the roster. Obviously the whole image moves because that's how I animated it in the video, but if you turn the mask back off, you can just see that my masks are very broke. So then, if we can just get back to the main editing timeline, zoom out a bit. This is all kind of just generic footage, because when I made this, I wanted to tone it down a bit, so it's not constant edits. That ended up going well in the end. I think this is just a cut. Was it? Yeah, this was just a simple cut. But then I kind of wanted to parody the WarioWare, like how it zooms into something at the end of a match. So, you know, the zoom. But like, I didn't want the characters to fade out with the black background. They still kind of do, but like just not as much. So I've got an effect, it's called demuff or something. Demult. I still don't really know exactly how it works, to be honest. But it basically removes a black background. But it like... I still don't really know how to explain it. It just makes them glow. I just usually use the luminance key, which is, it's like a chroma key for colours and that, but it's based on lightness instead, which basically works the same, but it can be a bit messy around edges. You could probably use it with the matte cleaner and that, actually, the same as the green screen effects, but whatever. So it does the zoom. It's a long joke to explain, but I just made a really crap me of Hero. And I just thought, yeah, screw it, I'll have Hero fight him. I did a couple of wacky transitions where the stages come in for the side to represent, like, some having mad gimmicks, others being pretty tame, and I think the Dragon Quest stage is a pretty decent in-between, so then to end it, that's not right. Then to end it, it just scrolls back into full view. Don't think that was just a, yeah, this is just jump cut, normal jump cut. I think the voiceover's back.
Often it's not that
Oh, it
big a
is.
deal, is it?
So then, This effect, I think I used in Hazards and Gimmicks. Yeah, I used this in Murray Towers in Hazards and Gimmicks. I think it's inspired, I don't remember which, but it's inspired by a funk video where, once I'm checking my phone, where, so this, let me go into it. This isn't just an image of like the stage I cut out and then it jumps into the whole thing. It's actually, if I can find the specific layer, well, it's in 2 apparently. I didn't realise it was in 2. This is actually an animated mask of basically the entire stage that's in frame. I guess I did the pipes a bit differently. I don't know why I put this on a second layer. I was going to say it might be animated in a bit differently, but nah. I don't know why it's on a second layer. But yeah, this is still the video in real time. It comes in with the mask. The mask is animated because there is a slight shift in perspective as the stage scrolls, but it's not too drastic, so it's not really complicated. And then the rest of the scenery comes in. I think I remember why this is on a different layer now, because you've got the hood at the bottom. The hood. And originally, I think I just took the video of them fighting, but I masked out the blocks, and then thought, oh shit, the hood's still at the bottom. So then I properly... Oh yeah, so what I did then, there's this video is not the fight scene. This is the technique I usually use if I just want the stage without any characters in the way. Also, I just realised I'm still streaming this under Wand of Gamelon. It took about a week, just under, to edit, but that was like constant, all I did when I was awake. The last and only other time I've ever done that was with Shurshid Origins. I couldn't really tell you exactly how long it would have took me. I will say, I was hesitant to make it, but I sort of... I did the stuff with Oko, which I'll show once I'm done with PAC-LAND, if you like. Also, is there a specific category for this to go under? Like, I don't know, I don't want to put it under art, because I don't consider myself an artist, but it doesn't really fit any other category. What do you guys think? I'll get back to it in a sec, I just want to figure out where this should be going under right now. I guess it can go under art, right? See, I missed the old creative tag on, yeah, alright, just chatting will do, I suppose. Yeah, that'll do. I missed when they just had a generic creative tab. But, whatever. I don't mind. Right, anyway. Back to this, sorry. So, the technique I use whenever I just want... I've only done it with scrolling stages, I think, so far. Oh, no, in Hazards and Gimmicks, at the title screen where it's the biplane with the text edited over, that's also invisible Game & Watches. I go on Special Smash, set it to small invisible, or mini invisible, go Game & Watch on 2 Joy-Cons, and just crouch the entire time, other than here because the stage scrolls. If I drag this out, I should be able to find... Yeah, you can, like, see here, me shielding. Oh no, that would be the AI shielding, because when it's a scrolling stage, I can't really do it with both at the same time, so I just do this and hope for the best. But yeah, that's how I get this kind of stuff when I just want a blank slate of the stage. I didn't want to use the original clip because particularly like here, there's all the hit effects, the boxes move, and there's all these effects which would have messed with it. But anyway, the stage scrolls identically no matter how you play it, so I can just easily like match up the frame. It's not perfect, but it doesn't really matter, especially since you can't really see like the shadows in the background. Fun fact, all the hit effects like that, and just smoke in general, that kind of stuff, that changes every single time you view the replay. Like in the banjo video, when I'd have to splice clips of the same replay over and over because it kept bugging out, which I'll get to in a minute if I can find it, you can see the smoke effects constantly just jump cut. Anyway, this is all this. This again uses the same effects to get rid of the black background. It wouldn't work with the luminance key because Mario's fire here, if I can figure that out. Yeah, so here it... Ooh! What I did here is... Yeah, this is what I mean with the luminance key. It makes a massive black background. So what I do here, this is on the Donkey Kong stage in Final Destination Omega. So what I usually do, I have 2 layers, and I put a mask, like, down here. This is a red chroma key, so I can, like, keep the shoes without clipping. And then the background is obviously just the black background. Yeah, it's obviously just the black background. And then I would have put that demult effect back on it to properly remove all of this. It brings the glow effects back, but I don't really mind it here, to be honest. It works with the whole aesthetic. And like as you can see, it's, you know, because I didn't turn the mask off, it's still got that. And then this video of him running, it's... this is just the same clip from PAC-LAND, like constantly on loop. It doesn't quite match up, but it works fine enough. Like, it could be worse. Again, I don't know if I did in this clip, because it seems like a lot of the masking was done when I put it into the 1-1 stage, but I usually have a second mask over here. And then, as well as the green screen for the stage as a whole, I'll have a luminance key to get rid of the black, just so again, the like shoes, feet, and all that kind of stuff doesn't clip with the character. I want to tweet this out. I'm enjoying this a lot now, actually. I'm getting into this. Give me a minute. Also, let me just put the alert box over. So that's the breakdown of that shot, basically. The background here, it's the 4x3 background again. I got 2 versions, one with the gradient, and where it's red and blue, and one where it's just blue. For that, I take the blue version, put the saturation completely down, so it's just like, just grey and another shade of grey. And then I, ooh, that's not going to work because it's got an overlay. And then I'll put an overlay on it. I'll tweak the opacity a bit. Usually I go for the overlay blend, but sometimes I'll go for divide or subtract, depending on what I feel fits the shot the best. I'll just look up all of them and see what I prefer. Doesn't really matter here. Then this effect, it's just a bunch of filters, custom filters, but it's just a bunch of filters like chromatic effects, the wave effects, put noise over it. I don't know what this is. I think this is the VHS overlay effect, which is the only like pre-made overlay I ever use. And then it's in the composite shot, I think, but that's just black background, and then put the blend layer to overlay. This is stock footage from Hazards and Gimmicks that I just reused because I didn't want to play Brawl again. This, just footage of that Mario stage. Everything looks weird here. Sometimes that just happens when you have certain effects on it. It goes away when you actually export the video, but there's basically a rough mask around the clouds that like hide and reveal this image, what that image is a secret, then this is just me crudely drawing
With these areas
the words
likewise
with my
having their
mouse.
own unique layouts and hazards.
This effect, I've done this a few times I think now. It's literally just like, take the, where is it? Take the actual stage icon it's in, mask it out to put this in, and yeah, just zoom out really, and it's all in a composite shot. So the layer, so yeah, right as the jump happens, it goes to a different version of this image of the video that's connected to the first layer in the shot, which is this. So I can move the first layer around, it'll move that with it. Pretty simple. Here we go. PAC-LAND footage, just normal PAC-LAND footage. I kind of have I guess a running joke, really, where in the background of the video is always the 4x3 background. So, like, when the screen shatters, or like just tilts a bit, you can just about see it. It would probably make more sense to just use a white or black background. I think white's more effective because it's more apparent that it's an editing choice, where black it just looks like laziness, that you've just tilted the screen and not filled the background. But I just like using my 4x3 background to make everything sort of piece together. This effect, I think is broken because it doesn't look like that in the actual video. What should happen is the whole screen just fades to a rectangle coloured the same as the background, which leads to like a seamless thing of this coming up. It doesn't look out of place at all. This I think was a match played on high vault, I would guess. Here's the so I just put the character renders in because I miss using them. Also, I'm getting a phone call, so I'll be back in like 2 minutes. That phone call went extremely well. Back to this. This footage was recorded by my mate Q. Image of the 3DS. It's just an image of a 3DS. It's edited into. Same with the Game Boy. There's a bit of an effect on it just to make it look all distorted and that. But yeah, keep the 4x3 checkered background in again because I like it. Back to generic footage. Just more generic footage. This is just a jump cut for the sake of a joke. This is a joke I wanted to do in Hazards and Gimmicks, but for some reason the frame rate of the Flash game didn't work. And I also cut the ad out because I don't like to show ads from websites and that in my video. But I just thought like it's funny for the sake of showing off that this is a Flash game in this situation. More generic footage. Did a fade between clips. I don't really remember why. This, I think it's this one. Yeah, so this composite shot it's very roughly done, but it's just like an image of the start of the level, and then this at the end, and then it's all timed in the main editing shot to like come together in a fade. It's not perfect, it does move a bit oddly, but it works. And then this comes up straight after, pretty much. This is just a blue screen to cut out the like blue background, and then it fades back in as its own image. I don't know why this isn't affected by it, actually. Do I mask that separate? No, there's no masks on this. So I guess I've just got lucky with the water being slightly different hue of blue. And just more generic footage. Rabid me, just because. This, I don't really know how to explain this, because it's kind of hard to get two 16:9 images to perfectly stay at the same place, because if I just get rid of the time code, I guess you can put them side by side, but it looks weird because there's just so much free space around it. So usually I if I can, I'll opt to do it diagonally and then stick something extra. I think it worked in this case with the time codes. The time code's just an effect in hit film. This joke, my friend on the call, we debated for a while if his profile image was really appropriate to put in the video, and I wanted it to be his choice at the end though, because like it's just my thanks for letting him join in. So I was like, alright, just send me images and I'll pick one that I think's appropriate. And in the end I just decided the frog was probably the safest. You can kind of tell it's edited in just because how much, I guess, more clean the image quality in the circle is. This is a quick edit I just did for myself, that I made that my actual profile image. And then for the like effect here, just zooms in onto my image as it fades out. That's just a mask around the image. It's just nothing special. This, if I can find the layer, split into a couple things. There's an animated mask that's... the mask itself isn't really animated, it's just that it moves in time with the gameplay, so it's always got this hill area highlighted, and then there's another mask around my character, just to put more focus on him. It's there the whole time, but like it's not fully animated, because if there's no point animating it when he's already in the masked area. So I just sort of leave it, unless I need to. You might think it's kind of redundant to still animate it when everything's back in shot, but I like to be extra safe, so when it fades, it's consistent. My throat's really starting to hate me. Next shot. This is just PAC-LAND green screen. Ironic that Pac-Man's the green screen level, but yeah, that's just him doing that. A mask is... So this layer here is the shot of Pac-Man. There's a mask here, so it comes in with Pac-Man. Yeah, here we go. So that just animates in, but it instead of moving, it just expands, so that doesn't actually move this layer. Otherwise it would be like that. But no, it just expands, which doesn't actually change the shape of the mask. Just again, more generic footage. And then this is just a montage, because I didn't have a capture device at the time, so I couldn't actually record menu footage or anything. So all this was recorded by my mate Oko, and I just edited it together real quick. This shot's interesting. The Spy Kids joke. It's pretty easy to guess what I did, really. I just I blue screened out the background, had him fade in, and then I've got a second layer of the video in the background again, but it's the same blue as these buildings. So if I can find the layer, there's just a mask animated around the entire building. It's not fully accurate. I did miss a couple things, like when the screen shakes, but it's good enough, it's fine. There's also another mask on this building, as briefly as it appears. It's a lot easier to do on this building, which in retrospective I should have done for this building, because I didn't need to animate the outside of the whole thing. I could have just done it around the window. Why did I do that? Why did I animate the whole thing? I could have just put it around the windows. Probably exactly, yeah, literally just what I did for that one. I didn't even need to do it like that, like literally just, boom, square. maybe just a couple extra points to make it a bit easier on the windows. I didn't need to be so specific with this mask around the whole building, but that's that joke, pretty much. This was a real PowerPoint I made. It's not actually a video, it's just a picture of every slide of the PowerPoint, all edited into each other. Put the word wank in, because if I'm not saying it, YouTube won't care. I know this is spelled wrong, that was basically the joke. I just wanted it to be, like, not too obvious it was a bad PowerPoint, but, like, just have the small mistake here and there. The effect to get into this, by the way, Pac-Man walks in, grabs the background footage, throws it away. It took a lot of cleanup, because as far as I remember, it should be this top layer. That's, I got a green Game & Watch on the green screen stage, but it's obviously not going to work out too well. So there's a lot of masking to help clean it up. The masking's a bit of a mess, but whatever, it's fine. There's some things like this which I can't really get perfect, I guess. I could smooth it out like this, just do it really quickly. Like, put that in, change it to subtract, and then feather it, but obviously, like, some much more, like, just better mask I'd animate rather than that. Like, I could do that, but I just didn't, I guess. But yeah, Pac-Man throws that,
in summary,
walks off.
I think it's a neat concept, but the layout of the stage and Smash's controls just don't make it work. And the on-screen space, it throws it all off, honestly. One thing...
I have the click effect in again, because I just like the idea that it's still changing slide. I wanted this to zoom in, so it's not blatantly obvious what's happening, and then it reveals that it's a fixed Smash game. So this Smash effect, I bought HitFilm Pro about a year ago, and it's the same as Express, the free version I've been using up until this video, but there's very specific effects only in Pro. This is one of them, where it just shatters, like, a building, and I just thought, like, that's kind of funny. I want to use that in the video, so I just crudely animated this fist in the background to punch this, like, video away. That's it. That's the joke. Again, oh, I missed that there. I'm stupid. This, again, 2 invisible Game & Watches. I chroma keyed out the background, just to have this nice effect of the stage running. You can see the AI's trying to kill me there. Just simple, really, innit? This is a reference to the Hanenbow video. I'm like, what the hell is a Hanenbow or something? I thought, because I used this clip of Bubsy, like, pointing at the screen, I just thought I'd have that fade in as a little reference to that. Zoom out just doesn't make a lot of sense necessarily, but it just looks nice to the eye. Zoom in and everything. So here, so there's a mask on the PAC-LAND level on one of the layers that basically get rid of the square to show the footage of the fairy in the background. This comes in around here while that part of the video is off stage, or off screen rather, so I can get it to all appear seamlessly without having to rely on fades or anything, which I do quite a bit. Scroll down. Again, Game & Watches on the level, just the PAC-LAND box art 4x3 background. This, I think's the opening screen from... if I could just scroll onto it. So I thought I should do something unique and not just use my 4x3 background again. So, like, this is the, I think, just move everything. The end screen or opening screen from a Pac-Man cartoon, that's just this loop of this lit up border going around. So then I edited that just to like constantly repeat, which usually I'd put into its own shot, but I guess I just left it here. Then there's just footage of the Pac-Man cartoon. Just a little like a little zoom in on this, and then zoom out to just add to the effect. This image is a Valentine's card I made as a joke like 4 years ago. Just thought I'd put in a video. I'm getting a phone call again. I'll be back in a sec. Sorry, Inky, Blinky and Clyde come to my house to kill me. Right, so then I've got the 4x3 background again. I wanted to make it a bit different. The only thing that come to mind was to make it just white and grey. Pac-Man logo or Namco logo comes in. Original footage of the arcade version comes up. Then it sort of zooms in. Zooms in. Black borders fading, just because it can. Just generic footage of the game, really. Then. So this is kind of like the end of part 1 of the video. Part 1's all about Smash. And there's a little bridge for the cartoon. This simple effect. That's the same not animation I made, but the same loop of the background from earlier. I think this is just an image of the title screen. And then the format I use for the rest of the video. This is another effect only in HitFilm Pro, which I like to use a lot for audio visualizers whenever I've made music. So I just thought, yeah, just put it in this video because I can. I say this in the video, but the PAC-LAND theme I think's owned by Hanna-Barbera. But I basically just uploaded the full cartoon to YouTube on a second account to see if I get a copyright issue. Everything's in fair use and all that law stuff, but you know, just to make sure that it's not going to trigger any automatic system. Just generic gameplay of 8-player Smash here. Bunch of versions of Pac-LAND. So, this is the NES version. I think the footage is just off the Wii U eShop version. And because the Wii U eShop is unsaturated in that, I've resaturated it. Turns out it's not. It's footage from another channel. Yeah, alright. This was originally just a white border, but I did a white border because I didn't want to spend too long on so many little details. But then I felt like I had plenty of time, so I just I made a border out like the Pac-Maze sprites. This Nintendo animation is something I made for a college project. I never got to finish because the COVID. So I just thought, yeah, I'll get my use out of it. I'll use it here. And then I just have the Famicom logo fading underneath just to sort of make it whole. Here we go. Here's the joke. The Wii U version. And then for the Wii U version, the footage, it's the same footage from that video but I desaturated it to look like how it would look on the Wii U, because the Wii U Virtual Console's terrible. And then this isn't actually parented to the image of the gamepad, I just had this zoom in independently. TurboGrafx version. Again, have the logo. To make it a bit more fancy, I just quickly animated Bonk running past and making it spin. Completely pointless. I don't care. I just wanted it to look nice, so I did it. Despite taking more time to get the sprites of Bonk, animating them and then making the thing spin around. Then there's just a montage of like lesser known systems and that. Commodore, Amiga, the Lynx, which again has an effect on it just to make it look a bit compressed like the Game Boy one. Here's the LCD game. This is a video of someone playing it, and then I got an actual image of it and edited it in. then I just did a fade to this because I wasn't sure what else to do. What's the joke here?
Down a copy to play, that wasn't this.
Yeah, so the joke here is it was a pain to find a copy to play because I couldn't emulate the arcade version. I wanted to play the arcade version. I nearly just went for the TurboGrafx version because someone said they could help me set it up, but that just never happened for some reason. Whatever, I guess. Mate, of course it's still going on. I'm talking about PAC-LAND. This video is like 15 minutes. So yeah, so the joke is that the only version I could play was the Wii U version, which I technically couldn't even do because I didn't have a capture device. Then I found out it's on the Namco Museum collection, thank God. This is I can't remember exactly what video it's a reference to, but this is my old carpet from my old house in my old room. I think it's the Hanenbow video, actually. It's just a shot of a PlayStation on the carpet. That's it, really. I found Brawling because it's contested to be the least liked Smash game. And I thought, yeah, it's a Nintendo video. See, there's Brawl proof. Oh, I guess all the footage of the actual game was saved to my old computer directly, but it's just a lot of footage of Namco Museum, one of the worst rated views in the collection. I really like going around the museum parts. I thought, yeah, put that in. This image, I decided whenever I do a face reveal, I just want to do it discreetly by just hiding that image in a joke in a video somewhere. Technically that got ruined by the Smash clone video, but I thought, mate, this is the perfect opportunity for a joke. I'm just going to edit this image to be in next to Pac-Man. So that's my unofficial face reveal, despite the fact I did one several months earlier. Again, just a mask around Pac-Man. This is just the footage but overlaid, which looks cool, I guess, because how it appears. And then, thank joke with the end cards. I wanted to do one for these for a while. Everyone else has, so I should have. This is, I think I just put a white. I think I just uploaded like a 30-second video, just a white like square with nothing else, just so I could easily crop out the things without like. Because if I put it on like a green or blue screen, like the border would conflict. I think white, because it's white, so it's not really image. Goodbye, RC. Have a good day. And then this scrolls in. You know, it's that because this is the old version of the checkered background, which was originally only for the outro. Then when I wanted to put it in the 4x3 background as well, I had to reanimate the whole thing and did it in a different direction, sort of moving another way. And then from there, it's just basic editing, really. Yeah, the goofy joke is just my mate suggested it, so I was like, yeah, sure. This joke has a lot of context to it. In 2018, on New Year's Eve, I was really bored, so I wrote a review on an emulation website for a Wario game, and the whole thing was just complete waffle. But the main joke from it was I rated everything perfectly, other than the gameplay. I put a 2 out of 10, and I said, like, jumping is a bit heavy, so sadly I can't give this a perfect score, but it was close. And everything else was 10 out of 10, but the joke is like, this thing, it's not quite as good, but it's nearly perfect, 2 out of 10. In that review as well, I also wrote, the soundtrack is like a camel vomiting its afternoon lunch. Doesn't make sense in the slightest. But yeah, I just thought it was so funny. I wanted to put it in a video. I asked my mate if he could draw a camel, a really bad camel. The mate who was the person who was in on the bad review joke from the start. So then he drew this camel. I have that come in. The vomit is the flood attack on the Hanenbow green screen, then just tinted green to look like vomit. And I didn't know how to get it off screen, so I just thought, what's the most absurd thing I can do? When I bought HitFilm Pro, it was in a bundle which come with loads of stock Hollywood effects. So I just thought, use an explosion, but don't use like the same generic green screen explosion every single person uses. Use a proper Hollywood stock asset explosion and just have it kill Vombo. The camel's called Vombo, for reference. I think I want to do this joke more too. I just want to use more like really high quality stock Hollywood assets in these stupid YouTube videos, just because there's such a contrast between what they're made for and what they're actually in. I didn't want it to jump cut with the gameplay. I thought it'd be funny, especially because you can kind of see the smoke still, just to leave it going until it's just over itself. And then just generic gameplay, Ganon, obligatory. This is edited. I had like more lives, I'm pretty sure. But I think I don't know actually. Maybe I just didn't. Maybe this actually was a game over. Because, actually, no, thinking about it now, I'm pretty sure this was based on a real experience where I just died there. And I just thought, because of how stupid the death was, so just falling, I was like, oh, alright. But the whole sequence from death to game over is edited to be a lot shorter. This edit, just a bunch of keyframes to scale it.
3 trips towards the end and 1 to return back from the ferry. The first 3 are all standard.
And then from there it's basically just more, just cuts and that. I wanted to put the odd thing in just to, I guess, retain the quality. This was like, I don't think this was one of the things I put in to keep the quality up. I think this was just a thing that I forgot in the script, and I thought, oh, it's probably a good time to mention it. So I just did this edit. I used the effects to make like him glow rather than an actual green screen, because I wanted to have the gameplay still clearly visible, but it gets the like image out of the way. Also, every sound effect in the game has edited back in manually, because I think this is just because I did Smash videos for so long. I want the background music, but I don't want it to cut constantly when it changes clips, but I still want the sound effects. So I got all the sound effects from PAC-LAND and edited them back in. The only one that's different is the skid. That's from Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't remember if PAC-LAND actually had its own skid sound effect or not. But I wanted one in, so I guess maybe it didn't, so I edited it in. This joke, it doesn't really come across perfectly because you've got these boots that I just explained that you jump infinitely. But in this situation, it doesn't work. So I just thought I'd do an Eric Andre joke where the screen freezes. To sort of imitate the style, I took an image. If I can go to layer, no, it doesn't work in the editor, does it? I don't know, it's called PA. Probably just short for PAC-LAND, because whenever I'd name something like that, I'd just be lazy and just give it the first 2 letters of what it should be called. .jpeg? Yeah, there it is. I took just this image, made it a JPEG, so it's got a bunch of crust around the sides like it would in the Eric Andre show. Tinted it purple. I don't know if that's specifically a reference to Eric Andre, I just thought it looked good. And then I just put the text in.
At any moment. The first stage of PAC-LAND is pretty simple. Platforming
Again, just
through a town. Later on,
bunch of generic footage, but to keep it looking nice, I put running just another jump cut. I thought, because it's technically the same level, I'd imitate the Smash edit from the start, but I couldn't do it quite as neatly because it's the arcade, just raw gameplay, and I didn't have as much to work with. but whatever, I like it, it looks fine. Then just more generic. This, I didn't really know how obvious it was to look down there, and I think it's a courtesy to the viewer to not make them have to look like, when the action's obviously the middle, and it's such a thin space at the bottom as well, I think it's a courtesy to the viewer to edit that to be, one, more apparent because it's so small, two, in the centre of view, so they don't, like, because I basically say, like, oh yeah, there's this timer at the bottom, but they're obviously going to be looking at the gameplay because that's what's moving, so it's just a courtesy to move it into their eyes, rather than mention the timer that a lot of people might miss otherwise. There's also a little shake effect on that, I think. Yeah, there's a tiny shake on it just to make it, just give it a bit more life in it. London Bus. This is one of the earliest jokes I think I thought of for the video when I was playing the game. It's got a mask on it to like hide it when it goes through the border of screen. It works fine. This, firstly, I didn't plan this with the song or the timing, so the fact the song just ends here was perfect.
It's a pain to use.
The crash sound, there is a water impact sound, but I couldn't find it, so I just generated my own white noise instead, and just put that in. It, like, I don't mind accuracy too much when it comes to stuff like that for the artistic vision of it. Like, I just wanted the crash sound effect in because I thought it was funny, thought it'd be entertaining. Yeah, why not? The main focus is the gameplay, as long as that's not edited, unless it's blatantly obvious, like it was here. I don't mind. I guess with the whole game over thing, it's not blatantly obvious that's edited, but it's not like I removed anything, I just sped up the sequence for the sake of, again, artistic decision. This, I hated this, genuinely. I just thought, what, the first time I saw it? Because, what happened? Like, I just sunk. That's, there's two copies of the video. One, it's just a mask on a diagonal triangle. That, on a diagonal line in the triangle with a feather, so that can emerge. I have an in-joke with my mates where if someone says what, we all repeat worm, so you can hear me say worm very quietly in the background of this clip. Just more generic footage, really. This kind of reused from the Hanenbow video, but edited a bit differently for a different context. I finally get over, so these appear, there's a cheer and everything, and then they go back down. And again, like the explosion, just because these shot jump cuts, I don't think it's worth getting rid of the effect, because I like the idea that it's not just a video edited together, everything exists in a space. It's why, like, at the start of the video, nothing just there's not a lot of jump cuts, it's just like, here's Smash gameplay, the Mario stage appears from the bottom, now the whole thing's in view. I kind of like the thought that everything's consistently together in layers, rather than just jump cutting as a video. I don't really know how to explain that, other than that. This, pretty sure it's different gameplay, but it's a similar joke to what happened earlier, the whole jump cut.
It's a bit stressful.
Just, as I mentioned in the platforming, it's like, oh, it's fine. No, it's not. And because everyone's already familiar with the setup of this joke, it's a lot easier to put in, rather than just show a clip of me falling into water somewhere random in the game. The zoom's basically just to keep interest in the video. I kind of made a mistake here, because this, the 4x3 background is a minute, but it actually stops looping after 45 seconds. So what I'm supposed to do is cut it out, like here, so every 45 seconds it goes to just a new shot of the video. Next, the end of 45 seconds is also the first frame of the whole thing. It loops, but I kind of forgot here. I'm not too mad though, because the effect kind of works with the setting of the level being a haunted house where it's completely different. But if I did re-render it, I would fix that issue.
Honestly. And the blade.
And then I don't really know how to end it other than that, because I don't want to rant about the stages anymore, because they're all based, they're different, but it's all the same mechanics. So I just thought, what should I do? Because I didn't really know how to end it. So I kind of just went, yeah, blatant end, but that's it. Just talk about it a bit more to explain the new game stuff. Like, it's an arcade game, it doesn't end. That was the main point. Then this, again, luminance key on the maze as it fades to black. These were videos of Pac-LAND and Miss Pac-Man. I kind of missed the way the one on the right, I think, appears, because it kind of splits into two, because half of it has a luminance key here, so like it overlays the Pac-Man gameplay, but you can still see it underneath, and the other half doesn't, because it's pointless, and it just looks neater if the background's black anyway. But it kind of cuts, like you can kind of see him move differently. Whoops. Then it just goes back to generic gameplay, back to Smash. Similar effect to earlier, only instead of blue it's orange. Doesn't work quite as well, because it's like not a proper colour usually for chroma keying, but you don't really notice, hopefully. Then I just thought the best way to do this, because all I can really do now is show more generic footage, is just a fade between different clips of the same stage in different parts of the day cycle. And then I thought it'd be funny to end it just on a quick gag. Like, oh yeah, the NES version though, it's really good. And I thought Pac-Man looked like a Mr. Man character, so I just edited him into the Mr. Man opening. And then, yeah. That's the end of the Pac-LAND video. One other thing is, it's pointless because no one's going to steal it. But I for a while there was annotations on YouTube, and there was an option to turn them off. For a long time, the end card counted as an annotation. So if you turn annotations off, the end card's turned off with it. That doesn't happen anymore. So I thought it'd be kind of funny, like, because there's no practical way to remove end cards. There probably isn't any way anyone can actually watch a YouTube video and get rid of the end cards now, unless they re-download the whole video. So I thought it'd be funny just to hide an image relevant to the video behind the end card, and I just put Vombo in because that was funny. But you can't even see these because the end card. But if you go on the timeline viewer at the bottom, you do see it. It's just funny. Yeah, that's it basically. Also, another thing, people probably make comparisons to the Scott That Was outro with how it comes down. No, since 2016, I've always had some variation of a checkered background as my background. And I think in 2018, I would guess, I changed it so I just liked this effect of it covering the screen, and then it looks messy to go straight into like the checkered covering it. So just have a clean plate to like sort of close it off, and then just have the checkers fade back in for brand convenience. Yeah, I made that, and I think the first video it was in was the Crazy Frog one, or Bubsy. It was an earlier one, because my old outro song was in Rock 8-bit, which was used in the original like Crazy Frog video. Not Axel F, like the one of him just going like ring ding ding ding, and so I took the music from that, and then I wanted to use something different because I thought people who recognise it will associate it with Crazy Frog for obvious reasons, and I found a remix of it, but that was, the remix was copyrighted, or auto-detected to be at least, unlike the original song. And I thought, oh god, what if one day all my videos get claimed because the song... And I don't mind in itself all the videos getting claimed, because like the old stuff, I never planned to monetize text-to-talk because it relied on someone else's text-to-speech software. The gem stuff, I would probably put like a one banner ad in the middle of, not that they'd probably make any money because how old the videos are. But whenever when I can monetize all these videos, I will actively monetize them all forward. But for the old stuff, I just want to leave it, especially the old text-to-talk stuff, because like I don't feel ethically right monetizing someone else's text-to-speech like software, and like if anything I at least owe it to them not to profit off it since they let me make that. But yeah, back to the song. It was in Rock 8-bit, which technically wasn't flagged as copyright. I tested to use a remix just to have a different song but the same song, because I liked it as the outro song. That was copyright. I thought, oh, what if eventually the actual song's flagged in copyright or whatever? So I needed a new song. And this song, it's long story short, I composed the melody of it, and I made a few things with it that weren't great, but the melody I really liked, and eventually I paid someone to work with me, who took the melody and made it into a full song, which became the outro music. And that's PAC-LAND plus the story of my outro screen. Also, this like move. I remember I thought about this like sometime last year for some reason. There's such a long story I can go into about the evolution of this checkered background. Like let me see if I actually have the very first version saved. I might not, because I've like moved computer since. Nah, this is the updated version. Here we go. This is the second version of my original intro. I just relinked the thing so it'll all render properly. Oh, wait. Is it 2 or 1? 2. Right. There we go. Never mind. Oh, God, where's the background? Where is that meant to be saved to? Picture, right. It should be Pictures, channel. Oh no, this was the... That? It shouldn't be that. Oh, no. Wait. No, that was the template. Great, I've lost it. I can find it easily, I guess. To be fair, I did change how it looked a little bit every time, so I guess it makes sense I don't actually have the original saved. Here we go, image edits. Here we go. Yeah, so this image was the original. So this will be expanded, and then otherwise just throw a couple of keyframes on it. Like usually what I do is it bounces in at the start, and then for the rest of the outro screen, it would just like slowly spin into the background. Like I'd do it differently, obviously, so you can't see the background, but yeah. more or less my old outro screen. It would bounce in, and it's just spin into the background. There were two versions. This was the original, where I just had the old Blooper Bro sprite, and then eventually I made that into a proper GIF to throw on. Text, as you can see by all the millions of layers, manually like just animated to appear one after the other, all on a separate layer, so the text like doesn't appear like in an actual line or sentence, which is a pain to do. The only thing, I don't really regret it looking back at it, because like it would be cheap to, but at the time I thought, oh shit, I didn't put a oh, I remember why. I didn't put a outline on it, so it looked kind of weird, and that's the reason the background isn't a part of this. I would take this, put that in the editing timeline, put a drop shadow on it to put more depth in the text, and then in the editing timeline I would put this in. So yeah, here we go. Is this the old one? Nope. 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 I've lost it. Composite shot one. Good name scheme. There we go. So I'll take this, have it in. I don't know why it's in 1080p. I've never read it. What resolution's this in? Whatever. Yeah. So I'd have that come up. That's that. And then I could stick a drop shadow on that to put more depth on the text. And then, however I did this, and then I would edit this background in separately to slowly like move through the credits. There we go. My old outro screen. But yeah, that was the first time I ever really used the checkered branding, but like obviously it's so much more different because it's just an image with the pattern on it. Then I made the animated version, which was just this, but blue. The context behind the blue, the indigo, is I commissioned the artwork for my channel, and Fabian just put this nice blue looking this blue looking colour in the background. And I thought that looked really nice, so I then just used it on branding. And then I just tweaked it slightly to make this, and I could probably find it actually. It's just this image here, but there's a tile effect on it. So there's like it's the same image, it's just this one version, like this massive copy, but because there's a tile effect on it, it shrinks it down and then fits loads of copies in the space of the original image. Because like if I just do that, it's just there. So that's how I used to make it, because I only needed it for the outro, so it didn't matter if it looped properly or not, which it very much doesn't using this method. Eventually I tinted it red to fit the new branding, but then eventually when I came to make a background like this, I had to reapproach how I made it. So instead it's all these images, it's just a copy of, so this is the original in the middle of the checkered picture, and it's just loads of copies that have all carefully been aligned and then parented to each other so it can get the scrolling effects. Like you can see it's not remotely complete because half of it's never meant to actually appear on screen. Like, yeah. And again, 45 seconds it freezes, so if you loop it there, it's all good. I keep the old like outro just tinted red now, cause like I just like it. Like it's completely different, I guess, because it scrolls the wrong way. It's not got a vignette. It's not got a gradient to neaten it out. But I think the simplicity of it suits just the end, because I don't want it to be too massive. It's just the end card. Like, after all the editing, just have a simple screen for people to look at, you know? Yeah, I considered updating it to just be, here's my intro. I considered updating it just to be, like, this version of the red tile, but nah, I kind of just have a sense of, I guess I just like the nostalgia and how it, despite all the improvements in my editing and the fact that everything's been rebranded, I still have some connection to the really old stuff by keeping the exact same outro, just tinted red to suit the new brand. Right, anyway, that's it. That's the PAC-LAND breakdown, plus the whole outro screen. That was a lot more work than I expected. And also I'll show the Oko Mario thing at some point, but it's probably better to do another time. I remember there was something else I've quickly made reference to in the video. I don't remember exactly which though. Well, whatever though. Yes, that's it. That's the entire PAC-LAND video. I think one last thing I'll mention is the intro screen. This is the first time I've used it. I've only used it twice because I've not uploaded in a long time. The original idea is every time it would have a unique transition effect. So this time it turns into stage select, which I didn't really want to do for the first one. I wanted it to just be its own thing as normal, just for the first one. But then this happened. The Smash boss thing was like just a Smash character reveal transition effect. The next plan was that it would I would basically green screen me jumping in, and then it would cut to just the actual whatever I filmed on camera. I'd look at the screen and be like, oh, I've moved out, but it's been way too long since that's happened for the joke to work. Plus it really relied on the context of the video, but that video basically got scrapped. The first actual time I used the intro was for another scrapped project. It was a video about Luigi, and I don't know exactly why I scrapped it. I think it was just I realised I wanted to focus on college to make sure I don't fail, among various other things. Mainly the fact I couldn't make a convincing hieroglyphic texture, and thought if that's not right, it's not worth it. But the first time I probably used it was in this video. Good. I'm gonna need to relink it. Oh, that's not good. Thing is, I don't remember what's linked to what, because this was all done on my old computer. So I've resaved all these presets to work with my new computer. So if I open the old files, I've got to dive into just a bunch of archives to figure out what goes where. Yeah. See, it's also still blue. Don't ask not to do anything, just this, simple as. There's a joke. There's Mario 2. So this is the original time I used it. It was already red, but I thought to fit the theme of Luigi, make it green. I was kind of hesitant to do it as the first one, because I felt like the new intro, it should be red instead of green. Like, but I just thought, I don't really care that deeply. if it's turned green for the joke, even if it's the first one. But I thought this was really cool, just all the different versions of him come in. And then just jump cuts, but like, I think all this justifies it being a jump cut for once. So that's the story behind the intro, the outro, PAC-LAND in its entirety. I think the joke, I don't remember exactly, but I mentioned the whole Hanenbow video and the Bubsy joke, and I just realised the files for some reason saved next to the Luigi one in the folder it shouldn't be in, so I guess I'll just quickly go to the Bubsy joke. Here we go. This is just a copy of the opening. The full video is saved as a completely different thing. Again, a lot of it's broken because the assets are on my new computer. They're just not linked specifically to work on the new computer. This shot as well, I just want to say, like, the fucking amount of polish I put in this shot when I really didn't need to. I'm proud of that. Anyway, the Bubsy shot, it's literally just him being like, mate, what? And just thought I'd put that in the PAC-LAND video as a nice little reference. Yeah, that's it. That is all of it. That's the PAC-LAND outro, intro, and a sneak look into the Hanenbow video. I think, I mean, I'd like to break it down one day, but I don't think I actually have the gameplay saved for it. I think I lost it because it was taking up too much space and I just couldn't keep it if I wanted to do more new stuff. But I've got like non-generic assets, and by that I just mean stuff like proper editing footage. Like I've got all this, got this. Ooh, yeah, the Meemouth animation, it's not there. I've got nothing to say to that. It's just, I edit in a weird way. I think instead of laying it all out, then editing it, then polishing it, then, or like laying it all out, doing all of one kind of effect, then doing all of another, I just do it all as I go along. Like, put a shot in, polish that shot, alright, next shot, go from scratch, from start to end. You're probably not meant to, but stuff like this with the Meemouth, because it's just such a process, I thought I'll come back to it later. This is all just simple masking to look like a light. I like the spotlight idea, whatever. Hanenbow breakdown all of a sudden. I'll just quickly explain it. Filmed in Source Filmmaker. The gameplay is edited in. There's just a mask over the screen to get rid of it. Then I put the footage in. It doesn't line up perfectly, but it doesn't really matter too much. Simple editing. All the errors here is just my 4x3 background not linked in properly. Simple editing, just text, whatever. This is a massive image of the Wikipedia page with everything feathered in, and then this shot specifically zooms in on that to animate it. Just easier to do than animating it with the mask in real time. This mimics the SimTunes trailer, how it just fades in and out. Just, that's it, just remade in glorious HD. That's the original voiceover for the video it's a reference to, the Mario Bros. Perfect Arcade Archive. I just used I think an overlay? I don't know why that's in so many different layers. Yeah, this is just an overlay to like have it appear, but like have it transparent so you can still see behind it. I like it. That's the original voiceover from the Smash Mario Bros video. So I could have it without the audio of the... You can't see it because it's not edited in here, but it should be linked in. It just shows the original video where I say it. I think I actually used the audio from the original video, but I got the isolated version of the narration just for the visual here. Yeah, that's the quick overview there. Again, this is the reference I was mentioning in PAC-LAND where these come up. I kind of like it more here because you can't really see properly because the room's all darkened. And then, boom, and then Demo Man comes up. Wrong frame rate for the Demo Man, but whatever. I don't mind too much. It's just a taunt from TF2. He usually holds a bottle, so I just crudely clenched his fist. And I couldn't really animate his other arm to look normal, so I just gave him a crate so he's holding onto something. Probably should have filled it with something in retrospective, just to add context, but whatever. This, just a bunch of images of these hands just coming in and out to do the effect. Box, just fade in with the box. I don't know why this is cut out poorly. Oh, it might be because HitFilm massively overhauled how it displays text since this video, so it's probably just an issue with the new text format converting over, but it's not an issue because the video's done. This I thought was cool. Just, huh? And what? Just found that funny. I thought it was interesting to learn that these exist. This is the only good logo of the company I could find. But I don't mind. I don't always want perfect PNGs and vectors and transparent backgrounds. I like this. This joke, specifically because I've had the ROM of Personal Trainer Cooking for the longest time, just for one song I wanted to rip to listen to and edit for fun, and then I found out, oh, it's used in the guy who, or the company that developed Hanenbow developed the cooking game, so
to say the least, I've got some platinum hits.
Yeah, it is a platinum hit. I'm pretty sure I recorded this original footage. I could probably find out if I just go into it. Because it's got an original file name. Yeah, okay, yeah. This was recorded by me on the emulator. Yeah. 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 That's it. That's a mini breakdown of the opening of the Hanenbow vid. Not really got much else particularly to talk about. Like, there's a lot of stuff I could definitely go more in depth to in both this and PAC-LAND, but there's also a lot where it's just repeating myself because it's just the same effect of a slight variation. But video editing's a process is the main point of all this. Anyway, bye.